When I first saw this story, I was wondering what track did they stop on. Maybe it was Dream Shatterer or Twins or I'm Not a Player. Okay. Capital Punishment is the name of a rapper Big Pun's first album. Fire. You definitely need to pick that up, all right? But let's get into this article being brought to us by ABC News. Capital punishment to be resumed by federal government. And it's written by Alexandria Sovoskos, Luke Barr, and Megan Chianelli. Cool. Why do you need three writers on one article? That's very strange. Attorney General Bill Barr announced Thursday the federal government will be resuming capital punishment. In the announcement, the U.S. Department of Justice said the decision was made related to 5 death row inmates convicted of murdering and in some cases torturing and forcibly entering the most vulnerable in our society, children and the elderly. Gross. On both counts. The Department of Justice further added that Barr had directed acting director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons to schedule 2 executions of those 5 individuals, and you misspelled 2. How do you have 3 writers and you misspell 2? Like TWO, that's the numerical way to spell 2. The Justice Department upholds the rule of law, and we owe it to the victims and their families to carry forward the sentence imposed by our justice system, Barr said in the announcement. According to the Justice Department, the inmates to be executed include a member of a white supremacist group who murdered a family of 3 and threw them into the Illinois Bayou in Arkansas in 1999. Jeez, dude. Another is a man who stabbed to death a 63-year-old grandmother and forced her granddaughter to sit next to her dead body on a 30 to 40 mile drive before then murdering her as well. That is torture. That's like the definition of torture. The Department of Justice says all executions will take place at U.S. Penitentiary Terre Haute in Indiana. The issue of the death penalty has been a tug of war between states and the federal government. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, 78 defendants have been sentenced to death between 1988 and 2018. Only 3 have been executed and 12 were removed from death row. So, I take issue with the death penalty, namely because of our justice system's bad habit of wrongfully convicting people. But at the same time, if the person is legitimately guilty of the crime, I would much rather them be off of the face of this earth than to basically be a taxpayer burden for the remainder of their natural life. I mean, it's just a matter of cost efficiency, because once I'm fully aware that you've done the thing that you say you've done, all the evidence is then, and you've been convicted, then yeah, you can go. Particularly the guy who killed an elderly woman and then made her granddaughter sit next to her for a 30 to 40 mile drive. Get him out of here. I'm sorry, the earth is better off without you, my dude. But at the same time, there is that caveat of, hey, we want to be triply sure. Notice how 12 people were removed from death row since. I mean, it's a really sticky situation, but ultimately, these decisions aren't within our hands as civilians, now are they? Even though I am the elected official, by all accounts, I'm still a civilian, so these choices aren't ours. In late May, New Hampshire became the latest states to ban the death penalty on the state level. Prior to the New Hampshire vote, there were 30 states that still had the death penalty, though 4 of those states have moratoriums in place banning executions. One such moratorium was put in place in California in March, which was significant because the Golden State has a sizable death row population but hadn't performed an execution for years. And that's the end of the article. But all I can really hope for is that they use better drugs than they were using. I cannot remember. There was a state who was catching a lot of flack for, in their executions, they were using less than like third-rate chemicals to inject people with, which, caused a great deal of pain. And that's one of the main points of the whole execution process, is that it is supposed to be painless. Like, the people aren't supposed to feel any pain. They're just supposed to be gone from this earth. And so, with that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike it, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube's definitely not going to do it. And speak, let me know, what do you think in the comments? Are you for the death penalty? Is this something that, you feel shouldn't be or should be? I really like to know what you think in the comments. And until the next one.